For those of you who have been following a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of Linda Seijic, and she is Stefan Sejic's wife, and she does her own projects also. She's done a bunch of coloring for a bunch of his projects, and he's got some of the prettiest art out there I've ever seen. Now, a lot of his books are a little too graphic in detail for me to want to read. So I've checked out her stuff. And I checked it out at first with Punderworld. I became a huge fan of Punderworld. Absolutely love that book. Cannot recommend it enough and cannot wait for a volume 2 of that. This is her second series, and they're both done as webtoons. So you can actually catch up on these, go on Webtoon and just read through there. I don't like reading online, so I wait for these trade paperbacks to come out and read it compiled this way. This is volume 4 now of Bloodstain, her other book. And even though it's called Bloodstain, it's definitely not a horror book. The dude just has a bloodstain on his jacket, and that's where the name comes from. But Elliot here is a gal who's desperate, looking for a job. She's struggling kind of as she's getting up into her early 30s, I think she is, maybe late 20s, somewhere in there. And her family's kind of having a crisis where she needs money. She ends up working for this mad scientist who lives in this like creepy mansion. He's got a pretty cool, sort of a chef guy, or at least we think he's a chef to start here. And she's brought in as his assistant, and he's scared off a bunch of people up until this point. Now, this is a big slow burn romance, and Linda signed this for me at San Diego Comic-Con. Thank you, Linda. And I just got around to reading it here. So, this starts out, and we catch back up. She kind of learns about him. This dude's is the kind of a chef dude. Turns out he's just kind of like a friendly dude who stays there when he needs to, and they've got an arrangement that he kind of cooks for him at some point. It's not really his deal. And there's an ongoing gag that like he's good at cooking food, but his coffee's terrible through the whole course of this. Now, she's still trying to figure it out. She's only had like 1 day on the job and is very concerned for what's going on. Now, in the last volumes, the mad scientist fellow was sleepwalking and was scary in the middle of the night, and she thought he was creeping on her and being creepy and all that, but turns out he's just a sleepwalker. Has some problems there, and he also has problems sleeping because he takes on too much in his work. So he's just misunderstood. He's a weird-looking dude, but he's misunderstood. And there's the bloodstain, which has not been explained as of yet. So she goes through this, and Linda Seijic's art's super cute. So you get this like slice of life sort of stuff here. I actually really like the figures. I think it's well done and cute. I like the colors all the way around. They go into these like parts in her head where she like often in her head, the world is seen through like a role-playing game or some sword and sorcery like type of stuff. They even give like hit points sometimes. It's super cute on that level too. And that's going to be the name of the game for this volume. Even though it's called Bloodstain, believe it or not, it's super cute. So lots of slice of life moments where like the dude's eating kind of weird and she's just watching, and they kind of like get to know each other a little bit better over the course of this. He pays her, but she has to go into town to deposit her check. She uses the phone to call back home. And once in town, he just kind of leaves her onto her own devices for a bit. And there's lots of worry going on in her head. She's very much a nervous worrywart. I love this drawing right here. This one of the full figure of her is just like, it's such a cool pose. Pretty neat stuff. And absolutely wonderful all the way down the line. Now, what's interesting is like, you see how this is like all the panels are formatted through all this. I wouldn't be able to tell it's like a webtoon originally. Like she does a good job also formatting this into like pages and panels. Now, there is a back home. This is her sister who's worried about her. And she's got a boyfriend back home, too, who she's kind of like losing interest in at this point. There's definitely a will they, won't they with the mad scientist, of course, going on. And her boyfriend wants her to come back for a date at the end of this book here. And on the flip side, like the mad scientist moonlights as a professor. It turns out he's not a rich guy or anything. He just works. He's a workaholic. And he doesn't really sleep. And so he left a bunch of stuff back home, screwed up his lesson there. The university's really angry with him. And she comes in when he's getting censured, and actually they kind of go, "Oh, I can't believe you're working for him. Another one. Ha, 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 ha," towards the end of this. And the scientist ends up kind of dejected towards the end of this as well. But she brings him the notes he needs and tries to lift his spirits towards the end of things. This is another beautiful drawing. For the final drawing of this volume. And dialogue's great. Lord knows I don't want to have to find another job. This is a really cute panel too. I like these reaction shots type of things that she does very well. And 9 out of 10 from me. I wish this would come out faster. It's my only caveat about this. I want the complete story right now. Beautiful romance story, lots of fun, and as I said, super cute. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.